Okay, we're here in Lightroom, and I have open a series of images from the E-M1X. These are all shot raw, all shot on a tripod with the same lens. The only thing I'm changing is the ISO value. I've opened up the images at 100%. I'm just going to flip through the series of images going from the lowest ISO of 64. 64 and 100 ISO are extended. The actual base ISO for this camera is 200. And we're going to go all the way to 25,600, which is also extended. At first I'll go through them without indicating which image is which, and then I'll turn on the information so you can see as I scroll through. And back down. Now let's do that again with information on. You can see up here the ISO that's being indicated. What's interesting is that as we go up with the noise, it's really not that disturbing. Where some noise has all kinds of weird color and things like that, this noise really isn't that distracting. And even at 6400, we see that the sharpness of the image and just the overall look isn't highly affected by it. Once we get into 12800 and obviously the farthest extended, it's just even it's not that bad. I don't know if I'd be using this, and because they're extended, we could just push them in post from 6400. But this isn't, we don't have all kinds of crazy banding, we don't have patterns. It's not very offensive, and with a little bit of noise reduction, this could easily be usable. And what I'm seeing is that the details are not falling apart that bad. Obviously, when we go down, if you look here at these details and such, as well as the text, they do fall apart at this ISO, but 3200 and 6400, they hold up pretty well. And as we go down, it's just not that, there's not that much going on. It's solid. So can we use this camera at high ISO? I think absolutely. Colors aren't changing that much. The grain is really not that offensive. And maybe that's just me. Maybe my standards are low, and to somebody else, this is going to look completely horrendous, and you would never think of using such a file. In all reality, I always try to shoot with the lowest ISO I can get away with, and I always go for having as good light as I possibly can. That always just makes things better, even at high ISO. So I really don't ever find myself stuck in situations where the lighting is so poor that I'm struggling for light, I'm at high ISO, and I'm at slow apertures and just what to do, and hope I have, 400 million ISO to save me. I've never really been in scenarios like that. And I'm sure other people work in those scenarios and find themselves in that all the time. That's just not my case. So for me, this camera works and works very well. Let's run through that series one more time, looking at them just full frame. So again, we're starting at 64, 100, 200. And actually, before we go on, let me just point something out. If you look down here on the frame, this is the cover of a printing paper box. Look at this highlight that was caused by a ceiling light. At 200, looks fine, we have detail in there, and if you were to pull down highlights, this would just turn red and match the rest. However, when we're at the extended low ISOs, 164, we just totally lose it. So honestly, the base ISO retains a lot more information than the extendeds do. Anyways, let's go back through the series. So when we're seeing a shot, we're here full screen, and we're seeing a full frame image. We're not cropping into pixel peep at 100% or 200%. And here, even 6400 and 3200 ISO just don't look that different than any of the base ISOs. Even 12800 looks pretty good from the E-M1X. I would have never used this on the E-M1 Mark II. And 25600 seems very usable to me, seeing it like this, with a little noise reduction. Maybe my standards are low, but that's, to me, I mean, it's usable. What more do we want? And this is on a screen. If you print these, even less noise will be visible. And again, it depends how large you're printing, how you're preparing your prints, how you're actually printing makes a difference. So if you're printing these wall size and you need them to be 360 dpi and you're going to be right up to them with your nose, yeah, you're going to notice it. But a typical print, you're not going to see any noise from these. Or you might, but nobody else will. Just nobody pays attention to that. Going back down once more.